Oh, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Video Game Rations, a monthly video game club. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Swain.
Hey, Eric Ragged over here.
And I'm Nolan Lorch. Guys, before
What?
we go any further,
Oh shit! What?
have you guys started recording your audio?
Oh no, I have
Yeah,
not.
that's a good idea.
I have not done that yet. Okay.
Let's
All
all
right,
do that. Let's
we
do
sound
that live.
okay on the podcast, so that's
Okay.
good.
Okay. We're just gonna
Um,
really do this live and start over, and
Yeah. So
I'm recording.
time.
That is an important part of making
I
a
was
podcast.
like, wow, this is so easy. Why is this so smooth?
Are we
I was
missing
like,
something?
it's because I'm not recording any audio.
I'm not recording any
check.
audio either.
Okay, I'm recording now.
Yeah, I'm recording now too.
Do you guys want to? Do you guys got time.is pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, let's
Yep.
start at
Go ahead.
8:32:40.
Okay. Warming up those hands.
Yeah.
Great. Audio synced.
Perfect. Great.
All right, we ready?
A peek behind the curtain right there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Hello and welcome to Video Game Rations, a monthly video game club. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Swain.
And I am Eric Ragged.
And I am Nolan Lorch.
If you're unfamiliar with us, we're a couple of friends who pick a video game every month and talk about our opinions on the game. For the month of July, we played Quantum Break.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, it was a real banger. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there.
You're already
immediately.
giving your opinion right in the beginning.
I already doing it. I already doing it. I like to throw
No
that
need
out
to
there.
tune in.
No, don't want to mince words. Yeah.
Yeah, you can close the podcast out now.
It was a hit.
A hit. Yeah. Before we start talking about some video games, if you guys could share the podcast, leave us any reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast provider of choice. That really helps us out. Oh shit! What podcast provider shut down recently? Stitcher? Was it Stitcher? One of them.
I
One of
have
them
no
went
idea.
under recently.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Whichever
peace.
one. I mean, Anchor is basically Spotify now. They just changed.
Anchor we use as our host was bought out by Spotify, so technically our podcast is hosted on Spotify. Stitcher, I think, is the one that went under. So don't leave us a review on there. I mean, you could, but
Maybe
That's
if
not
you
gonna do
review
much
on
for us.
there, it'll boost us
right.
Yes.
on.
Can
on
I
a different-
can I take this time to talk shit about Spotify?
You can take this time. Nolan, it's your podcast too. You can do
You
whatever you
could've-
want.
You could have
Thanks.
talked shit about them from when they first made a company.
I have I am a Spotify user, but
Okay.
their desktop app
Not sure what that means.
uses a significant amount of CPU power.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
heard
it
that.
does.
I've heard that before.
And I've had multiple computer crashes while I'm working and listening to music, and I think it's
Okay.
because of Spotify. And I'm like, why
Well, you
does this app?
Just use the web browser. I know it sucks, but
Yeah, I should do that, but I should also be able to use the desktop app, efficiently.
yeah. Anytime I log into my work computer, it has an update. Spotify always has an update.
And everybody wonders why this podcast runs so long. You know, why are all the episodes always 2 hours long?
We just are interested in so many things. You know?
True.
I remember
It's
going
so
to,
much more than a video game podcast.
I remember going to some house party and someone had Spotify because it was from it like started in another country or something.
What?
It was like a big deal. I thought it was like a big deal, and they had like a special logins. They had to have like a VPN to like listen to it in the States.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
I'll take your
It
word
was-
for it.
It was founded in Stockholm, Sweden, in April 23rd, 2006.
there you go.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember being at someone's like, I got a
Go take that.
login.
Fun Spotify fact right there.
Videogamerations.com is the place to find the links for our Twitter, our Discord, which is a great time.
Excuse me,
What?
Twitter?
Oh,
I'm
X.
unfamiliar with this app.
You're right. You're right. It's X, which we honestly don't ever do anything on there.
I just tweeted about this current
Well,
episode.
did you tweet or did you X?
A zeet.
You zeeted? Is that really
What
it is?
what is it? Is it Zeet?
No, it's supposed to be just X or something.
You
You
X'd.
X'd?
That's so
Stupid.
stupid. Anyways, Discord, you can find our Discord on there. We had some great times this month. We played Battle Bits. Nolan has been leading the charge on Remnant 2. What else? I feel like there was something else we were playing on there this month.
There was something else we were playing. I don't remember
Tarkov,
what it was.
always happening.
Tarkov is always happening.
Yeah.
We played some Exo Primal.
I was gonna say,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know anything else.
Yeah, Exo Primal. I think that was the other one I was thinking of. First off, Nolan,
Yes,
how are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing good.
What have you been up to?
I'm
What have you
doing
been? What have you been gaming? What's
What have I been gaming?
happening? Yeah.
I feel like I haven't been gaming a significant amount. I've been busy with work, and I've been hanging out with my wife, Cody, and playing a little Steam Deck.
Ooh. Nice.
And I've been playing a lot of the Xbox Cloud streaming on the Steam Deck.
Okay.
And it is so impressive. I mean, I think I've talked about this before because I played Guardians of the Galaxy on it. The same way I played it on the Steam Deck.
Right.
But it's just so awesome that it works as well as it does. Like I played Yakuza Like a Dragon on it, which has been great. And then I played some Persona 5 on it, which is also great. It's definitely easier to play games like that rather than like Mass
Download
Effect
the whole thing, or
yeah.
I did
You
try
should do Chained Echoes if it's still on there.
It is. I've been wanting to play that. I mostly played like a Dragon and Persona are just like insanely long games.
Oh,
but they have good vibes. So I was like, I just want to like vibe out. I don't really care. And so I was like playing those. I wasn't really playing them to necessarily get into them. I played DayZ streaming on the cloud, and I've also played Battlefield 2042 or 2032 or something.
I was like, did they make it so you don't have to sign into EA on that, or?
No, I think you do, but
yeah,
but it's not a separate client, right?
Yes,
no,
it's not. No,
right. 2 thumbs up for Like a Dragon, 2 thumbs down for Persona 5.
Whoa, 2 thumbs down?
I tried it. Remember?
You said you liked it.
Well, with the limitations of the saves and all that stuff, I think Like a Dragon's a much more enjoyable game for me.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. Yeah, it's just great. I mean, it's not like you have to do like kind of a funky thing where you make a URL link in your Steam library, which takes you to Xbox Cloud.
Right.
So it's a little funky, but once you start playing it, it runs really good.
You're talking about like the original setup part, right?
Yeah. And I've only had a couple games that I've really had to that I just couldn't play because
the original setup, I think it took me like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, but I didn't even have a keyboard or anything. So I was like manually trying to type shit in. So it does take some legwork, but once you get it, whoo.
Yes. Once you get in there, it's great. And then I guess on Tuesday, a game that I've been waiting a long time to come out.
Yeah.
Dropped Remnant 2, uh, Stoop, and DJ Jazzy Chris and I had a good
Shout
game
outs.
session on Thursday.
Mhm.
That was the first time I had time to actually sit down and play it. And man, it is a great game. Like
It looks sick.
it's so fun. Like I really like the original one, and the thing I like about the Remnant games is I don't have a lot of I have a hard time with the like looter shooter MMOs because when I get to the end game, you have to like grind and kind of repeat a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's usually when people are like, "Oh no, like this is when you're actually playing the game."
Right.
Which
The end game.
yeah, like I get like those raids and stuff are so super fun and they take a long time and to like you get all the like best gear and stuff from that.
Mm-hmm.
Remnant is just like a very casual one of those. So
Right.
you're playing like really fun dungeons, you're getting awesome gear throughout the game. You're not missing out on content really because there's not really like an end game, like you play like a story and then, that's it.
Right.
And you can the thing that was cool about the first one was like I had a campaign going and Duncan had a campaign going and the levels are like basically the same progression, but the dungeons are different and you fight different bosses. So you have a chance to you play like a different encounter depending on who, is running the campaign.
Oh, cool.
So there's like an incentive to play through multiple times. Like you're not really playing for the story.
Right.
You're mostly just playing because like the game's fun and it's a good co-op and you're getting like cool gear and stuff. And Remnant 2 like doubles down on that significantly, which has been really fun. I haven't had like a ton of time to play yet, so but like me and there's like 3 different starting areas and or like starting worlds, and in those worlds are like pretty different areas. So me and Chris started at the same world, but we were like I was outside in like the Bloodborne area and he was inside this castle which is like all Elden Ringy looking. And it just was very cool because like I just didn't expect that level of like uh that much variety, I guess.
Yeah. That's cool.
And
I mean, I didn't like really see or know anything about the first one and just saw like all the reviews coming out for it and saw the stuff this week and it looks like a fucking cool game.
it's very fun. It's very fun. And like the co-op experience is really really good. I really don't think I'm going to play much by myself. Like I don't super enjoy it playing alone, but yeah, it's been great. The other
Nice.
cool
Funny
thing
that I was gonna say no one's really hit that Borderlands co-op thing in a long time.
yeah,
I mean, it feels like this is like kind of on par with that.
yeah. The thing I didn't like about Borderlands and the thing I liked about I like about this is when I'm playing Borderlands, if you're not at the same like if I play by myself and then I want to play with Eric,
the scaling.
we have to go back to Eric where Eric is, and I've already played through that. It doesn't change depending on your playthrough,
Yeah.
And those games are big enough that you don't have to do all the missions or anything, but this it's relatively linear as far as, the progression of the story goes.
Yeah.
And like we started in Chris's game, Chris left, and then we jumped into Stoop's game and he's in like a different world and we're just you're leveling up your character like no matter where you're playing, but your campaign is like your own, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really cool, and they took like the problem that I had with Borderlands, and they've seemed to come up with like a good solution to it. So you can jump into random people's games and like play a dungeon that you've never played before, which is
Nice.
pretty cool.
That is
So
cool.
I love that the first one is called Remnant from the Ashes,
yeah,
and this was just called Remnant 2.
yeah, I know.
Like, why
Remnant
even have
subtitle 2.
I don't know.
why even have that?
I have no idea. It's really weird.
It's like they thought it was going to be popular enough to make a sequel, and then instead of sticking to that, they just put a 2 at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But or maybe I mean I'm trying to think of when that game came out, but subtitles were all the rage, and now everyone's
It's
dropping
true.
them.
Well, so that
They always are. They always are.
That was like the whole Marvel thing.
Yeah,
They got rid of the numbers so you wouldn't think you had to watch 10 movies to catch up.
you do though.
Interesting.
And then you
I-
definitely do.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the Ubisoft game cancellations, how they canceled Immortals: Phoenix Rising, the sequel. They canceled that game, and they were
Huh?
like, "Yeah, that game just sounds like a video game Mad Lib. Like you start off with Immortals, you add in a Greek
Yeah.
animal, and then like Immortals: Phoenix Rising. Like what even is that?
Wait, is that? Wait, they canceled that like Magic Call of Duty game?
No. That was the sequel game, and the original title for that game was like Gods and Monsters or something.
Oh,
The Ubisoft game.
yeah,
I remember
which was
that.
actually a pretty good game. Like
I
it was
think
like
people like that.
it
Yeah,
was like a
people-
Breath of the Wild game.
Yeah, people liked it, and apparently Ubisoft said there wasn't enough, or it didn't sell enough to make it like a sustainable IP, basically. So they canceled the sequel.
You can still.
Hmm.
I just googled it, and if you type in Gods and Monsters game, it still links back to.
Yeah, there's the launch trailer for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Ubisoft's website. Like everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Funny.
Eric,
Nice.
my friend, how
Wait.
how are you? Oh, what? Oh, jeez.
I got two more things I want to say.
Oh
about
my
Remnant.
goodness. Okay.
I'm sorry. In the first game, you don't have classes. You start off with like a general class, but by the end of the game, they kind of all run into each other. This game has like designated classes. So you have like a melee class and a healer and like a DPS and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But I thought I was kind of bummed that they were doing that because I liked how you could kind of customize your character as you went, but they still allow you to like unlock those other classes and play them in your same playthrough,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool. And you can multi-class, which is pretty sick.
You can what?
Yeah, that's right. You heard me.
You can what?
Yeah. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, and
Okay.
the story is kind of bad, but that's okay.
Okay.
'Cause that's
Yeah,
not one
I
that-
heard it takes 2 hours to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But that's okay. It's totally worth it.
Okay. Nolan, you wanna segue to Eric then, since you took
No,
you
I
took
got
mine?
a off the rail remark that I just looked up.
Okay.
Gods and Monsters changed their
Heaven
name.
forbid we're off the rail.
Gods and Monsters changed their name apparently because the game changed, the vision of the game changed. But there was documents revealed that Monster Energy Drink filed a lawsuit against for the name,
Because it was
saying
called Gods
it
and Monsters.
would damage its business and highlight its involvement in the games industry, including its sponsorship of esports teams and events.
It's ridiculous.
And apparently monsterenergygaming.com is what they were. I don't understand that.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one can segue me.
Yeah, Nolan, go ahead and segue.
I mean, I feel like you just segued yourself. You've been playing another action adventure
Mhm.
open world game.
One that was maybe inspired by Gods and
Monster.
Monsters, Phoenix
Oh,
Rising.
I thought it was inspired by Monster Energy drink.
You know
Yeah,
what? It's very confusing. Who can say?
still plugging away at that Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh,
Nice.
I
Love it. Love it.
had a hard time playing our monthly game, but managed to have like kind of 2 days off from work and took the time to play some Zelda.
nice.
Actually, I was playing some earlier today too.
I like how you say that you've had a hard time playing the game of the month, but you finished it before both of us.
Well, I know I got a couple nights that weren't busy, and I just like cranked through it. I also didn't watch the episode, so that's a different thing. But
Yes.
the Tears of the Kingdom experience has only gotten better.
I'm so
I
jealous.
was going to beeline to the Wind Temple because I heard that's a good ability to get.
It is a good.
Got distracted by like 4 other side quests on the way.
Of course.
Got those. Finally finished the Wind Temple
Nice.
and did a bunch of cool aerial stuff now. And then, boy, I stumbled back into the lab. Boy, let me tell you.
Stumbled in God of War Ragnarok or something.
No, I stumbled back into those labyrinths that I first got in.
Mm.
Oh,
I've
nice.
been doing those, and oh my god, those are amazing.
Did you ever do those in Breath of the Wild?
No,
Nice, dude. I feel like
were
you're
they
getting
in
like,
there?
yeah, yeah, like
I
the
didn't
big.
know that.
There's like big labyrinths on the map.
But they're not in the sky though.
No, no. There's underneath those. I think there's labyrinths. I
Yeah.
haven't done any of the sky ones, but I'm excited to try them.
Yeah. Once you get going on those quests, it's really awesome.
Yeah,
and fun to do. And then I just encountered my first Gleeok thing too.
How was that?
I got my ass kicked.
That's a
I
three-headed
bailed.
dragon, right?
Yeah. I was fighting the lightning one, and you basically have to do it like naked because all your shit
metal
will, like,
on you, yeah, it just blasts.
Oh
you.
yeah. You got that gimp suit, don't you?
Yeah, I got part of it. I got the upper body part.
Nice.
Very
Sweet.
nice.
Now,
Yeah,
let me ask you this because we have a Zelda designated Zelda channel on our Discord. And
Nolan, where would you find the Discord?
you can find that at videogamerations.com.
Great, thank you.
Along with our X Factor social media website.
Oh, X Factor. Yeah.
It's very
xfactor.com.
yes. Anyways, Zelda channel. You were saying I don't know what is up with these wooden boxes. They break all my weapons. Why are they so hard to destroy? And I have been thinking a lot about making a Zonai box crushing device. And I was curious if you've come up with any sort of like pointless Zonai machines like that.
That I use frequently?
No,
or that
I mean,
just made.
Yes. Like, have you like really started getting into the building like random shit?
No, because I only do it when I'm encountered with a scenario that I need it. And it's usually they have the stuff around.
Yes.
Like it's like here's a puzzle, here's a bunch of Zonai stuff.
Yeah.
And then I recently spent all my Zonai to get the battery crystal upgrade, so I'm like 0 right now, so I can't like actively build anything. But I did try and do a balance bike thing. Which is like you take the controller thing and then you put 2 fans like underneath of it. And there's a way it can like hover, but it's so hard to like, you have to have some sort of counterweight on the back or something. So my go-to is if I'm doing aerial stuff, I have like just balloon with fans all over it. and
Nice.
I just light a fire and then hit that.
You know what? I hate that the bird glider disappears.
I hate that it all disappears.
Does it?
Yeah, so you know those big weird puzzle things that just hover in the sky?
Yeah.
If you ride those long enough, they'll disappear too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
The
Oh, that's
platform
lame.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because
Nice.
I put rockets on it and just shot it like straight up to see how far I could go, and then it started blinking on, it disappeared.
Oh,
Well, I'm gonna challenge you to make a Zonai box destroying device.
Okay, I have I have a saved thing of 2 battle robots with like fire.
Oh my god. The battle robot. It's amazing.
The little one, the Roomba thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you done
I
the shrine with that? You have to only use those.
yeah, where you're naked and you have all you can use is battle bots.
Yep.
That was the first time I encountered the battle bot actually. And I was like, this is so good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I built one with it has like the head that looks at enemies,
Uh-huh.
and then I put like the unicorn laser on it, or like 2 unicorn lasers. That thing wrecked so many Bobelkins or whatever they are. Like when now, because I have like an army of all the sages or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
plus battle bots. You just wreck house. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, I haven't really experimented too much with. I just charge into battle and deal with the consequences as they come.
nice.
I
Eating a lot of food though, doing that.
oh yeah.
Mm.
You should build yourself a nice little battle bot and save it because they don't disappear. And you can just ultra hand it, like walk around
Anywhere.
with it on ultra hand and then just plop it in when you need it.
It'd be great if you could ultra hand a like, cause you know your horse has the carrier or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like just drag it behind you or something while you're running around.
Drag the cart behind you.
No, whatever you build,
Oh, I see
like
what you're
around the
saying.
map. You know,
You probably could. You
you
could
need like a
probably
little sled that you like attach to your body.
so have you how many pony points do you have?
I'm up to the knight's armor on my horse, the knight bridle.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you have the horse
Yeah,
connector thing or the
You get that's like the first thing you get.
yeah. Well,
yeah, I
you
have
can
that.
you can make like a bunch of battle bots and then just carry him,
Store him in the
connect him
back.
to that,
Mhm.
and then ride your horse around.
The problem with the game, and I think I mentioned this last time,
This is
is
ridiculous.
if you talk to someone and you get a cutscene, your shit can like disappear.
Oh, gotcha.
Uh,
Interesting.
Which I noticed that a lot, especially even like the Kurok seeds when you like make a device and you take it up to them, and then it cuts the video of them like, "Thanks for my friend."
Oh yeah,
Your shit will just like teleport like halfway like away from you.
huh. I haven't really noticed that, but I mean, I guess now that you mention it, I usually lose sight of those devices as soon as I drop them off. So,
Yep.
mm.
huh?
Interesting.
Yeah, what a good game.
Yeah. Someone's
I
out there
wish
picking apart
I was
Zonai
playing more of
garbage.
it.
I'm surprised you don't just like play it in bed.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
just so tired. By the time,
So
I'm in
tired.
bed, so tired.
Have yourself a cup of coffee.
Oh
Play a
no,
little
no coffee, no coffee.
Zelda.
Honestly, I've been watching a lot of Better Call Saul now that the whole thing's on Netflix.
So good.
We're on maybe a third of the way through season 6. So good
See,
shit.
I get most of my. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was gonna say, what are your thoughts on the little reversal on color versus black and white in Better Call Saul and Oppenheimer?
Oh, what are my thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it should be the opposite, and I understand
Like
why they're doing it.
the older scenes should be black and
Yeah,
white, and the newer stuff. I mean,
I know they're doing it as just like a creative choice in
I don't-
both those things.
I can't say I've put any thought into it. So
Oh man,
Wouldn't that require the like majority of the footage to be in black and white though?
yeah, I guess that would be the
yeah,
thing with Oppenheimer,
which is cool because
or Better Call Saul. I guess would be.
we just watched the Smartless documentary on that podcast, and it's all in black and white, and it's like awesome.
Mm.
And they literally just like turned color.
The what on what?
Video. Smartless. It's a podcast with Will Arnett, Sean Hayes, and Jason Bateman.
Yep.
There's an HBO show about it. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
But it's in black and white, and it's like it looks awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Anyways, the
maybe more. It's got to be more like a mass appeal thing. Like, I don't think majority of audiences are gonna watch something that's completely in black and white or 90% in black and white.
Well, they're idiots.
Y'all a bunch of
well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I would say 98% of the general population is idiots. So
you gotta save that. You gotta save that stuff for the limited run 10 plate DVD or Blu-rays.
Right. Mad Max. Yeah. There we go.
I got it.
Blood and Fury.
Yeah. Blood and Chrome. It was called.
Oh, Blood and Chrome. Yeah. Right. Nolan's got it.
But just last thing on Oppenheimer, the way I like really figured out like timing was just looking at like his haircuts because they changed so much too. It's like,
did you have a hard time? Did you have a hard time telling what's going on?
No, they just like.
Oh, I was gonna say it's super easy.
They switch between like 3 different time things, 3 or 4.
But it's not like Dunkirk where it's like things are happening in 3 different time periods and times accelerate and slow down. Like that movie's way more linear. It's like, anyways, we're not who's talking about Oppenheimer. Anybody want to ask me what I've been playing?
Nah, well, I'm good.
What are we done with Zelda?
I don't know. Are we? I think I played Zelda for maybe an hour.
How many? Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Right. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Brian, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Quantum Break, and I've played a little bit of a game. In our Discord, we did I think a couple game nights. Battle Bits, which is Battle Bit. Sorry, not bits.
No, you're right. I mean, it's fine.
It's a throwback to the old Battlefield formula where you're just capturing points and it's large scale warfare and a lot of destructible environments, vehicle combat, but it looks like it's Minecraft or Roblox basically. Yeah. Like very toned down graphically. Yes. Like you could run this thing on a potato, I would assume.
You definitely could.
Yeah. Unless you open the score, like the score,
the score one.
For some reason, when you click that, it's like, it's not expecting you to do it.
It's in early access. It's a super. I mean, it can be as basic or as deep as you want it to be because the customization and weapon skill trees and all that stuff that's available are super deep. But I mean, if you're a fan of Battlefield games or large warfare type of things with a lot of players, it is super fun.
It's really good.
We've talked about in the Discord how the visuals can kind of put you off, and if you can get past that, Eric, I'm looking at you.
I can't get past it.
You know, if you can get past it, it's great. If you can't, you can't. But I guess that would be the same with any video game, basically.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know what it is. It just is so off-putting to me.
I mean, like I said, that's like a lot of video games. Some people don't like realistic. Some people don't like cartoony looking things. there's some people that only go for the best looking video games ever created, and that's all they play. Like, I think it's just personal taste, But
it's a weird, like, I'm just thinking of audio. Like, I only listen to the best audio. It's like,
some
dude,
people do that.
I'm listening to the most compressed MP3.
Yeah.
There's
It's
Tidal.
definitely like
you got Tidal for you, man.
It's all about the gameplay. It's definitely the art style is not great. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But yeah, man, it
I
is.
feel like they could have done the non-cube version of it, which it sounds like they did start that way, right?
I don't know. I don't
know
I mean, it's
anything about it beyond.
I know it's like
currently.
two. It's like 2 or 3 guys that are making it.
Oh wow.
So,
yeah, I think it was like a mod of something, Arma or something, wasn't that?
I don't know. I mean, I actually do not know.
Okay, I thought it started as a mod of something, and they just said it was too similar to that, and then they just like kind of did this as placeholder, and then it kind of stuck.
All right, you got to back up your facts, Eric. Look it up.
Someone was
Send the article.
Whoever we were playing with was talking about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know about the art style or why they did that way. I just assumed it's because it's easy and they can get away with a lot of things like having kind of intricate gun mechanics and lots of customization without having to worry too much about animations or
right
holding the gun properly
Yeah.
or making like a million reload animations or stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would even say like Minecraft like is more of like a designed like where all the pixels are and stuff like that compared to this. Like this just looks more like blocks, where Minecraft looks like when you look at like the character model for the zombie or the pig or whatever, it's much more like crafted than what you're getting in this game.
Yeah, but and I mean, like, you couldn't play a game like
on gameplay for sure,
right? And you couldn't make a game like Minecraft, like it's how expansive it is without it being that
totally
simple,
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, I love that it's an accessible title that can be played on like so many like range of computers.
Yeah.
As opposed to like as stuff like Fortnite gets bigger and bigger and adds ray tracing and like who knows how many DLC packs, just gets so bloated.
I hear Futurama's coming.
Futurama is coming, yeah. Yeah, it's cool that they just went super accessible.
Yeah,
I will give it to them, and you know what? I don't mind that I paid $15 and I can't get into it. Like, doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's an easy one to kind of shrug off.
Yeah, it's a bummer that I don't get as much into it as you guys because I love playing the original Battlefield.
Yeah, I'm sure I mean, if we were all playing too, you could be like, oh, I can just pop on and play a little bit, have like a couple hours of fun, and then be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
But
that's basically all I've done. I mean, I've only played it with a group of people in the Discord.
Yeah.
Videogamerations.com. You can find that through the Discord. Nice. I haven't played it by myself at all. It's just
really?
like on a no. It's just been like, what do you guys want to?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to play something, I'm here to game basically.
It's a good
and the battle bit is what it's been.
It's a good game to just kind of take a break and play because you like, especially on the smaller 32 versus 32. You can just kind of jump in, have like a 15-minute game and be done.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Yeah, it's nice. But also the VoIP has been really good in it, shockingly.
Oh yeah.
It's super funny.
Nolan, tell the tale of that one dude that was helping you out.
So we were again, DJ Jazzy and Brian and myself were playing, and there's like different classes like Battlefield, but there's also a squad leader that can deploy like spawn points, and
They rally points or something.
yeah, they're rally points, and also they can call in like supply drops and stuff like that. And I didn't realize that I was that. And someone, you can have like 8 people in a squad, and one of our guys was like, "Hey man, like, are you gonna put down a rally point? Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh man, I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry." And I expected, like the I have very little faith in the gaming community, especially amongst like the Call of Duties, and like I've had a lot of negative experiences
Anything with guns.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible
Any game
in-game.
involving a gun, basically.
Yes. And the guy was just like, "Hey man, no problem. What you want to do is like maybe set it up close to where we're trying to capture, but not too close." Um,
Very funny.
and I was like, "Oh, thanks." And we're all like mobbing around in a car together, and I'm just crashing into everything. And he's not saying anything negative. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he was like, "No problem, man. We're all just here to learn." And I was like, "What are you talking about? We're playing like a stupid a stupid Minecraft game."
Yeah.
It was very good though.
Nothing educational about it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
They also are like, they will ban people for, I've seen people getting banned for saying all sorts of stuff. So they're pretty quick to get like slap you with a penalty if you're harassing people or saying anything like remotely toxic.
Good for them.
Which is good, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very fun though. We should definitely play some more.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to play some more. And if anybody wants to play along with us, you can go to videogamerations.com and find a link to our Discord, in which we have multiple channels where we're looking for games and
trying to
find other people to play with us and all.
Looking for games.
So
some would say there's too many, but
I would absolutely.
Some people are still looking for them.
Some people are still looking.
Yeah. Well, are you dudes ready to talk about our game of the month, Quantum Break?
Am I ever?
Okay. Nolan, are you ready? I heard Eric express his readiness.
Yeah.
Nolan's doing it physically. Just
yeah. Quantum Break is a 2016 action-adventure third-person shooter video game developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Microsoft Studios for Windows, which is important, and Xbox One. The game centers around Jack Joyce, who is granted time manipulation powers after a failed time machine experiment, as he comes into conflict with his former friend Paul Serene over how to deal with an apocalyptic end of time.
literally the end of time.
End of time. It was developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Microsoft Studios. It is I was going to say is and was, but it doesn't matter because it's a Microsoft exclusive property. You can't get it on PlayStation or anything else. So it's on the Xboxes and PCs.
Yeah.
The Metacritic on the console, it's a 77, PC 66, which I think we'll dive into why that score is what it is. First off, what did all of you guys play it on?
I played it on Xbox Series S.
Did you play it on cloud, or did you download it, or how did
I downloaded it?
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even look and see if there was a cloud streaming thing. I just downloaded it. I figured it would be easier.
It now that I think about it, it was not on cloud. It was only
right.
So maybe by asking you, I answered my own question. But
perfect.
I played it on the Xbox Series X, and I did a mix of well, like on a big TV and playing it through my computer. So, what
We'll
about
talk
you?
about
Nice.
this later,
Nice.
but the episodes are larger than the game to download.
Oh yeah,
Just
the TV show
Is it really?
part.
yeah,
Yes, it is massive on, and I think on the
That makes sense.
I think on the
I would have had to
Xbox,
deleted so much stuff
I think on
to
the
get it.
Xbox you're downloading all the variations, like all the
Oh, okay.
because there's so many different choices you can make. So I don't know how
Yeah.
many
Files
iterations
there are.
of the TV show that exist, but I think the game was like it was like 75 or 70 gigs and another like 80 gigs to download
Yeah, the episodes were
the
like
TV
close
show
to 80,
locally
90.
because it seems like the server doesn't exist for where the TV shows are hosted. But
Right. Yeah.
like I said, that
Huh.
probably doesn't make a lot of sense based on what we've said so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nolan, what did you play it on?
I played it on PC because I don't have an Xbox, but
Okay.
I played it on Game Pass, and then I played it on Steam, and then I played it on the Steam Deck
Okay.
this weekend.
So does it make you download those things separately on PC, or is it all one big package, like the episodes and stuff?
I mean, I don't really know because Steam said the game is 60 gigs. So I downloaded that, but then when I'm installing it, it only says that it's 30 gigs.
Huh. Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know how big the whole the actual file size is.
But like when you got to an episode, it just played.
It just played. Yeah.
Okay. Mine did not.
What about when you played when you did that on the Steam Deck?
I didn't actually watch an episode on the Steam Deck.
Okay.
Um,
So
That would have been interesting.
yeah.
this is the crazy part about this game, and I think we'll just briefly touch on this now, if anybody listening doesn't know what we're talking about. There is the base game, and based on your decisions that happen in the game, in between each act in the game, there is a live action filmed 20-minute TV type of episode that fills in story and characters and stuff between each act. And originally, all this stuff, at least on the Xbox, was on an additional server. So if you were playing the game on your Xbox, it would just connect to the server and stream it just like you would Netflix or anything else. And it almost seems like that server barely works or doesn't exist, maybe, because it prompts you to be like, you can't connect to it. Like, would you like to download it? And apparently sometimes, at least what I saw on Reddit and Twitter, that it does work and you can stream those episodes. But
Yes.
if you can't, you have to download them, which is like another 80 or 90 gigs. And I would assume, because there's so many variations of the show and based on your choices, that it's downloading every single file. And it's like HD, like, it's high res files that you're downloading. So that's where Eric was saying, like, the TV show that you're the content pack, I think it's called, is it's a larger file than what the game is on the Xbox.
I would get the previously on videos would load just fine and play.
Right.
And then it would like brick out and be like, we can't load the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
I was thinking I would just stream it. And like when I went, like I finished the first act and try to like start it up, and I was like, can't connect. And I was like, wow, this is terrible. I just won't play it. And I had to it takes a couple download or an hour or two to download like 80 gigs worth of, TV show basically.
Maybe that's why it didn't work on. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Never mind. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and then the entire like Windows store to Steam store is like a completely different
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
So
that
I'm
we'll
looking
probably
on
talk about.
I'm looking on Steam like system requirements, and it says it's only 68 gigabytes,
Yeah, that's
Like-
I would say that's about what it was on the Xbox.
including like the
No,
just
no,
the game.
just the game.
Okay.
So I wonder if like the Steam one, if when you're watching the episodes, if it's streaming it directly, or if there's like a different, if you were playing offline,
yeah.
it's like an additional download.
It must be. I'm looking at like the installed files, and it's only 68.
Yeah.
It's not, there's
Yeah.
no like extra 80 gigs or whatever.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Difficulty. Did you guys do all just normal, or what did you mess around with?
I think you have to
Um,
do normal until you beat it.
Yeah, I don't remember there
There's a
being
normal
any-
and there's an easy,
Oh, I didn't
and
switch
then
to
you can
easy.
step up. Okay. What about time played? How many hours did you get in? I was reading almost everything up until the last act, so I was definitely on
Same.
the long side. I think I was
Yeah,
closer to 12 or 14 hours.
Yeah, it said completion was like 18. So I was definitely I wasn't a completionist, but I was like probably 14 or 16.
Okay.
Yeah, mine says 22, but
Hmm.
that's not. I think it's counting me idling out on the Steam Deck.
Okay.
Hmm.
Nolan, give us your quick overall review on Quantum Break.
Very good. It's very good.
Very good.
It's got a great story
Mhm.
if you are into time sci-fi stuff. The gameplay is good,
Mhm.
and it's got that Remedy charm. Like, what's not to like?
Yeah.
It's true. This
Yeah.
is true.
I don't know. It's a
I
great
think there's
game.
I think there's a lot not to like, if depending on
Yeah.
how you like your
True.
stories told to you, but
Yeah, we
Um,
talked about that with Chris a little bit because
Right.
he's like, I hate having to stop and read every.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, give me more, please.
Yeah.
I want to read a full book.
Eric, what's your quick review on Quantum Break?
Ambitious prototype.
Ooh.
If I had
That's
if
good.
I-
Buzzwords.
if
He's
I-
going
That's
buzzwords.
really good.
If I had to do like a
Uh-huh.
actually, if I had to do a headline, it'd be some stupid pun about time.
Oh man, yeah. I kind of wish you would have workshopped it a bit more.
No,
now,
I
but
should have done it. I just
Yeah.
did some keywords.
Yeah, especially when it's quick.
Ambitious
thoughts.
prototype is pretty good though.
That is pretty good. Yeah, yeah. My quick thoughts. Yeah, a very enjoyable. I mean, action adventure game. Yeah, I don't have much more else to say. Like besides that, I think it's an interesting game experiment, and I think
Do you like it more as a story or more as a game? If you had to choose.
more as a game. I think the time stuff that they have going on, especially in the combat, is like really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like a lot of really cool standalone moments in this game that are probably better than the whole, but it makes it
Yeah.
like more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Eric, for the leading question. That really nailed it for me. Okay, so the overall story basically is that you play as Sean. No, it's Sean Ashmore's the
Sean
actor,
Ash-
right?
yeah.
Jack Joyce.
Jack Joyce, and you have a brother who discovered some sort of time manipulation particles, right?
The Chronon particles.
It's
right.
named
Isn't it
after
like the
their
Jack
family.
Joyce particles or something like that? Or
It's after his family, right?
It's the so it's Joyce and his like scientist partner also is like teacher
yeah.
Myers. So it's like
Right.
the Joyce
Oh,
Myers.
the Meyer Joyce particle. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get too crazy into it because the
okay.
story we
Yeah.
could intertwine for
Yeah, but They basically discover time particles.
Yeah. So then there's a time machine. Things break down. You essentially kickstart like the end of time, right? Which
Yes.
You have your friend, which is Paul Serene, which is played by Littlefinger. What is that dude's name?
Littlefinger.
Do you think he makes a good tech bro?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's a good.
I think he. I mean, any villain he makes
He
like a
nailed it.
really good.
He
I don't
goes
know
by
if nailed it, but
Aidan Gillen or Aidan Murphy. I think he changed his Irish name.
wait, in
Yeah,
real life?
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
real name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your tech bro childhood friend calls you up and needs your help.
Mm-hmm.
And you discover this, or you go to this school campus where they have this massive, like, cool tech facility.
Mm-hmm.
And you help them turn it on because you're going to help them go through time.
Mm-hmm.
And then your
Which
brother shows up.
he doesn't even really need you there, besides to like complete some sort of time thing.
I think he needs you to hit the button.
To start it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that your friend Paul Serene has basically lived through every timeline and has created this mega corporation
Right.
called Monarch that is set up to survive the end of time, which is started by you at the beginning of the game, in which they create like a lifeboat and like a group of people that will survive the end of time. And Paul Serene is there to like make sure that all these events happen to lead up to the end of time. And you're just kind of like a cog in the machine, including your brother.
You're there to help like kickstart your brother to do things and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's I wouldn't say it's very complicated, but it's not necessarily like something we need to like dive into here. But the story is told through the game in kind of like a typical Remedy fashion, where there's like the key narrative elements that are told through cutscenes and character dialogue and a lot of leftover notes and memos that you find all around, which build characters in the world. And then uniquely in this game, there is live action film sequences that span between the 5 acts of the game, or 5. Did they call them acts? I think they call them acts, right?
Yeah.
I think they call them acts. Yeah.
There's acts and then the episodes are between. So there's 4 filmed episodes that are 20 minutes long, that are based on your choices that you make in the game. The things that you find in the game, very minimally so, I will say, which is an extremely unique, and I think the only game that's used this type of storytelling method.
Oh, there was
the live action episodes.
Yeah.
There's been a few things that have tried it.
What else? What else is
there's that sci-fi MMO.
Oh, right.
Yes. The Sci-Fi Channel would do like weekly episodes, and supposedly it was supposed to affect the MMO on like a weekly basis. It was the show was like terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't think the game did well either.
I'm trying to think of what it was called. Defiance.
Yep.
Is what it was called. Yeah, I can't really think of a game that was trying to do like this level of player engagement. Because Alan Wake, they did like a mini series prequel. That was just like a web series, but this actually was like supposed to be when you like. I think what they were gonna do was whatever the highest percentage of decisions people were making was going to be the episode that aired,
Right.
and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it was also tied in with Xbox One Home or whatever, that whole thing. And
That was the huge push of multimedia centers in the household,
yeah,
or whatever
Right.
Xbox called it.
yeah. But now that we're kind of removed from that, and it's just kind of like these kind of filler episodes, I think it actually works pretty good.
It's like a Telltale game now,
Yeah.
but not as extreme as a game with tons of narrative choices.
Like the episodes are like different characters are the focus. It's not
the
like
side characters, basically.
Yeah, so you're getting it's kind of like a unique spin on like the audio, audio file that you find or whatever. It's a little and you like you get to kind of see more of like the inner workings of Monarch and like how like fragile the structure of that company is in like a fun way, which I enjoyed.
Right.
How would you describe the quality of episodes?
I mean, I thought they were pretty good. Like they obviously it's hard for me to like they weren't like HBO shows, but like they were on par with like a CW or something, Like they weren't bad. There was a couple of shots that were like pretty rough as far as like VFX go. But I mean, better than I expected for a video game TV tie-in show,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think Remedy has always been kind of, maybe not so much anymore, but originally interested in really how to blend medias together. Like Alan Wake, we played the remaster back in November or something, maybe. Like each section of the game was basically like a TV episode, right? And it ended, it had like an end credits and all that stuff. And they almost did the exact same thing with this game, whereas like there's like a cue, it cues to an end credit and music, and it's like, oh, you got to start the next episode.
Yeah,
basically, which is kind of weird, but
like popular music at the end of the episode too. I was just like,
oh yeah, there's like Paramore at the end of it, and which to Nolan's point, he was playing it on Twitch, like he just turned off the copyright music, and I was like, oh, this is Paramore, just right at the end of it, like they just
it was silent.
grab that stuff. And then for this game, like they just grabbed so many actors that they could and try to make this full TV thing. And like Nolan said, it was going to be on, I don't know if it was going to be on YouTube or something else, but it was just,
I thought it was on TV.
Like they were trying to,
I think they were trying to make it on TV. Yeah. But it was also like the era of like every player decision matters. It was kind of like Mass Effect is the prime example of this. Like, like all your decisions are going to matter. But when you're watching the TV show, like if you find this like little piece of intel or whatever, they like touch on it for like a second and it like has nothing to do with anything else that happens. It's so funny. Like
it is like, really funny.
You're like, oh, I did find that. And they just like brush past it. And you're like, okay. Yeah. But it was like it was a marketing thing, basically. It's like, what you do in this game is going to matter. And it like doesn't. It just doesn't matter to the thing. And I don't know. It's so funny that they were trying to tie it in. But overall, like watching, like Nolan said, watching the episodes now, I think as far as like not factoring in how it flows with the game, like it's I think it's kind of interesting and fun in seeing the side characters and how they develop, and some of them I hate so much more than if they were just in the
it's like like an email.
Oh yeah, like they're so
Yep.
like they're so bad. I'm like, oh man, this is like just does not work well. Um, I think there was a soldier type of character in like he works for Monarch and he has a wife that's a nurse and like
Yeah,
his
Liam Burke, my friend.
Liam
oh
Burke.
he was
He's the worst.
He's kind of like the main character of the
Yeah.
show.
yeah, and he's terrible. Like and what happens in the TV show is terrible, and how it interacts with his wife is terrible. And then he just dies in the
like a
game, and
good
you're like, all right, well, fuck that guy.
Did he die in the game for you?
Yeah, I killed him.
He can live.
Oh, I didn't kill him. He was
well,
alive.
I didn't kill him, but he got like stuck in a stutter. Like he was basically
okay.
like not alive, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, they like left him behind for something. Yeah, those side characters were on my list of things that just didn't work because I watched 2 episodes. I watched the Liam Burke escaping nurse scene on Nolan's stream, and then I watched the interrogation first episode, whatever that first one is.
Right.
Yeah,
with Beth or whatever. Or not Beth, the schoolgirl.
Right.
I can't remember her name.
I think her name was like Amber or April or something like that.
She becomes like a major character, kind of, for me at least, because I kept her around.
Yeah, she was like a main character in my game too.
Right. Same.
She's like man in the chair.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like overall, like all encompassing, like I liked the idea. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed watching each individual episode. Like I watched all 4 of them. As far as like a storytelling mechanic, it's like, okay, I'm playing this game. I'm having a really good time playing this game. And then it's like, okay, I gotta like just kick back and watch like a 20-minute TV show. You know, like it really it broke up like the gameplay so much that it's like, okay, and then I'm gonna go back and play a game now. Like I was just like, it was so weird, like so kind of like disorienting a little bit. But I enjoyed the episodes. I would say like if you're gonna play this game, like you absolutely should watch them because
I agree.
It's kind of like a product of the time and the game. Like I don't know if it really adds a ton, but when we are like looking at the game as a whole and we're trying to review it and critique it and look at what the game is, I think it's super important.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just so funny.
They needed to up those stories in the game just like by 10 20%, because most of those characters are just like emailing back and forth between each other.
Even if that, I think some of them don't even have any like you said, Liam and his wife. Like, there's no, I don't think there's any like emails or communication you find with Liam and his wife at least.
Not his wife.
It's just
I think Liam with other people, or what is that fucking high up security nerd? That was the worst character.
Charlie,
Charlie Wilcox or whatever.
He was great. His emails were hilarious.
They were hilarious. Yeah. And it also so funny that high alert, like super crucial communications are like, oh my God, you're who are you playing as? I can't remember the name character.
Jack Joyce.
Oh, Jack Joyce. He's like, Jack is running through the tunnels. It's like sent through an email.
I know.
That you find later. It's like, why would that be an email?
Everyone's computer is unlocked, no security. Just leaving PDAs around.
Yeah.
Actually, so I didn't want to get into that, but that is one of the narrative things that I hate about these type of games is I literally read an email about someone being an evil person basically at the company, And then I don't find out narratively until like 3 episodes or whatever that they're like, oh, I'm starting to have suspicions about this person. It's like, dude, you just read an email of him telling people to like murder people and cover it up.
He's got the passcode. What do you need, Aaron?
It's so funny that it.
Nolan, what did you think of the episodes?
I liked it.
Like just how the story was told through the emails and episodes.
I mean, I like all that shit. Like, I took the time to read a lot of it. I skipped kind of the end stuff.
Yeah, I was in a rush yesterday to finish Act 5. So
yeah, I think I like the episode. I can't imagine like I enjoyed that the episodes were in the game, so it was like a chapter that I could either like play or come back to.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot imagine what it would be like to play this game, play an act, and be like, oh, catch the Quantum Break episode on Friday and or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, is that how it worked? Like, I
don't know if that's how that worked. I think that's how they wanted it to work. And I don't know if anybody signed on for it, is what I remember.
Yeah.
And it's all super muddy. Like when I was trying to figure it out, it's like, it's hard to figure out. Like, it seemed like it was going to be like on Xbox or something at a certain time, and it was going to take your decisions, and
it's
kind of
like this was a Sony move. Sony just has so many publishing arms that they were making TV shows and putting them directly on the PlayStation 3 or whatever it was at the time.
Right. Yeah.
There was that show Power. And there was like a handful of other shows that you could only watch on your PlayStation. And then Xbox was kind of trying to like get in that like TV movie marketplace. Yeah.
I think that just like the development of this game and the show and stuff is just like we need a no clip stock on how this all worked out. Like what
have you checked to see if there is one?
I haven't. I have not.
I don't think Microsoft would ever let that happen.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I do have one other thing to say about the emails.
Yeah.
The order was backwards.
Right.
Like when
you
you
had to scroll to the bottom.
You had to scroll to the bottom.
Yeah.
Which was super.
That's how real emails work.
That's how emails work. Yeah.
But it was irritating because I was like, okay, like I guess I'm gonna scroll to the bottom of this thing.
I think it's the same the same in Prey too.
I was gonna say I think you had to do that in Control. I think you have to scroll to the bottom to
Control I thought was better about like redacting stuff that was not like like this. Like there was a couple of emails where I was like, this paragraph didn't need to be in here. Like I'm pissed I read this. Like I wanted to read all of it because there was a lot of good lore story stuff in those emails. But I read one of Liam's email that was basically just like it was like a recording of Amy, which is the college person, like a meeting setting up the protest, and it goes on forever. Like
some of them are way too long. For sure.
She's talking to all these different characters that you never meet in the game. She's basically just saying like, okay, you're in charge of like making sure the frat boys don't get drunk, and it just goes on and on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep reading this because I want to read it all. And then at the very top, it's like Liam's response, and it's Liam saying like, okay, so we got this recording, so this is the person we just got to look out for him. And I was like, I'm so pissed I read that whole thing.
Yeah.
But
so
in like Control, they do a good job of like, because they can redact stuff out. And I feel like they would have done that. Like they could have used a little bit of that,
Yeah.
Trim it up. I
think
smidge.
Control, like you were reading, like you said, in the redactions, like you were putting pieces of story that you read together and you're like, oh, I read this other thing earlier in the game. That tied into this, which in this game, it was just emails and emails and emails, which a lot of them I thought were mostly interesting. Some of them not, but
yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. You're reading them and then you're not you're not responding to people in the same way you would if you just read that Martin Hatch basically covered up a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's so it's good flavor background stuff, but it doesn't change the overall story. Like the emails are kind of their own thing, the TV shows are their own thing, and then the game like cutscenes are their own thing.
Yeah.
It all goes together, but like you're not interacting with it as you do like the game. I don't know.
So we
Kinda
as a
talk-
podcast have basically gone extremely backwards, where we played Control first, then we
Yeah.
played Alan Wake, and now we have played Quantum Break.
Like a time travel plot line.
Right, exactly. Like we're filtering right in. So I mean, how well do you think Remedy is telling the story through those different areas? Like, adding in the TV show aspect. Alan Wake is just like I don't know. It's just like there's a lot of written stuff, right? Kind of
I
similar
think
as
it's like
Control is, but
how much do you want to engage with it is kind of up to you, which is cool.
right,
Yeah.
totally.
And then the main story is just a solid like story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Right.
need the emails and you don't need the episodes. Like I didn't need the episodes. Like it's fun to watch them and experience them and figure out what's going on with these background characters. But
Yeah.
it didn't change my like main who are the main like four people? It's like Beth, Joyce,
Mhm.
Hatch, and Pierce or whatever. Or
Yeah.
and William. So it's like 5 people.
Okay.
It didn't change my experience really that much not watching those episodes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, Eric.
And steep.
It is steep. It is steep.
I mean, even the Alan Wake, I was thinking the Alan Wake, like I only watched like maybe 2 of those weird little YouTube videos.
Uh-huh.
Like the things that were on the TVs when you walked by, and it was like a live action.
No, you're
No,
talking about
there
the
was
web
a-
series.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
like a series they made for it.
Yeah, they're Remedy's crazy.
Yeah. I think they do a great job of telling stories in their game.
Mhm.
Like you were saying, Eric, it gives you you get to kind of choose how much you want to engage with the world. If you just want to play like a
Mhm.
linear story, you can do that. Or you can there's lots of tidbits and TV shows and radios that you can listen to if
Mhm.
you want to find out about these other random characters. And I think some of the best comedy bits are usually in those emails. Like they usually write pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
Or like they have like weirdo night like sci-fi shows. And a lot of the connected universe throughout all their games is kind of embedded in that stuff too,
Mhm.
which is cool.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
What would you say the quality grade is on all that stuff, Nolan? I need a one word that
You want a
describe
grade?
No, just one word to describe all that stuff, the background stuff. I just need one word.
Like Loch Ness monster versus
No, just one word.
Like
The quality.
quality, high quality, good quality,
Yeah, but like a fun word.
stupendous.
You're ruining this
excellent.
bit.
Excellent.
ruining
No,
this
I know
bit.
I know what we're trying to get here.
is he trying to get to the snack minute?
He is.
Cracker
Snackable?
Jack?
It's very snackable.
Cracker Jack?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know.
Munchies?
Would you say the quality is just somewhat cheesy?
Yeah, what is
Yes.
that?
These are pepper jack cheese crisps.
Damn.
So
Those
it
look
basically-
good.
Good.
It basically is like if you burnt cheese on like your pan for too long.
Yes, I love
which
those
is
things.
delicious.
Let me give you a little ASMR and just a little visual here.
Man,
Maybe
I
a
can't
little
believe I
square.
didn't get cheesy. We've been
So that-
talking about how
You
cheesy
you've
this
been
game
talking
is the
about
whole
it
time.
in the Discord
I know.
at videogamerations.com for so long, and I tried to get you to say it earlier.
Sorry,
So,
You didn't-
so
you didn't
that's
do it.
like an adult cheese it you got there.
I messed up.
Mhm.
I messed up.
Damn.
Well, they're now bite sized. They weren't before.
Is
They're
that
just
from
giant
is that from
sheets?
Costco?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'll have to keep an eye out. Like I said, I'm there. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think I've said this in the Discord, but Remedy, as far as like a single player linear story game, like they're the best storytellers I think out there. I
I
think
agree.
like the way they build the world, like Eric said, it's kind of optional how much you want to dive into it. Which I'm not talking Quantum Break, this game specifically, but as far as like how much additional layers they add through that, like you can do that in a third or a big open world game. Like you have a bunch of additional things you can read and find out. But as far as linear storytelling games, I think I can only really think of like maybe like the Uncharted series or some other ones. But as far as like what you can find and how much additional stuff you can add and how much Remedy builds into it, like they do such a fucking good job. And maybe it's also because this is the type of stories that really interest me, like time travel and sci-fi and stuff, and Control being like super X-Files ish. Like I'm like, this is fucking really, really cool.
What's Max Payne's kind of noir?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really remember there being like a whole lot in those ones necessarily.
Oh,
But
the
the last one, right?
Three.
Max Payne 1 has a great story.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking like post. I was thinking 3. Like, yeah, Max Payne 1 and 2, like nightmare scenarios where there's like the fucking blood trails and all that stuff that's derived from the comic book came before the game, right? Or was the comic book?
They are just, you know what it is?
No, the cutscenes were comic books. Like in the game.
Right.
The comic book.
Did they make a comic book for it?
I don't know.
I think there is a
I was
comic
gonna
book.
say,
But anyways,
it would be such a Remedy thing to make a comic book.
I think they did. But I think they are at the top of the tier for me as far as like this type of game. That's like linear single player story driven games.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, they're starting to like hone their craft. You can see it at each game.
Exactly. Which
it's like a little better.
And it's funny that we played like, I mean, we played Control. I don't know. When did that game come out? 2019 or 2020? But we played Alan Wake recently. We played this. Like you can see the evolution, but like the way that they tell the story is like, damn, so fucking good. And I just want to play Control again, basically.
Yeah.
And there's so many games I want to play. I'm like, ooh.
That one did such a good job of doing all the lore building too, with all the TV stuff and
which also just a slight little teaser. There was that Alan Wake 2 teaser right at the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
So sick. I watched it. I was like, is this Alan Wake 2? What the hell's going on here? And I Googled it. And people were like, did we just see an Alan Wake 2 teaser? Because there's like that TV right in that tent,
Yep.
Do you want to know the connection that people suspect in this one?
Yeah.
It's kind of based in story stuff, so it wouldn't be like too crazy. But in Control, there's a mention of someone who walks through doors. And there is a line that Hatch says that basically says, I am a house with like an entrance or something. He alludes to doors in some way, in some sort of riddle. And
Nice.
throughout all of Quantum Break, everyone's like, I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know what time he's like a man between time.
Yeah.
So that's like supposedly the connection, but Remedy will not say. And when me and Nolan were talking on stream, I think they kind of have they must have like a weird license with this game and a few of like the other didn't they do another Microsoft? Was it the first Alan Wake? Microsoft?
Yeah, Alan Wake was. They had like Duracell, and there was like
The Ford trucks or whatever.
Like the Ford car that was like powered by Microsoft. It was like a Microsoft like interface in the vehicle, you know.
I think they got caught up in all these like weird licenses that they like couldn't directly connect everything together. Same with
And they were using like Windows 10 phones in this game. Like
yeah.
they had like the tile things.
Windows 8 or it was Windows 8.
Yeah, 8. That was like all
God,
tiles.
I hated those phones. I had one of those phones.
Yeah, I remember this.
Like in the cutscenes, it's like they're clearly using like a Windows 8 phone and like they're touching it.
Yeah.
And there was another car involved with this game on that
This
bridge
one did.
sequence.
Right.
Yep.
I think it was Nissan, I think.
I
think there's
man,
a
I don't
Nissan.
remember.
I think it was a Nissan tie-in.
There's a you when you're playing one of the Paul sections, you walk over to like a Lamborghini or something, and he's like,
You're right,
love this car.
Yeah,
Oh,
love this car.
yeah.
Such an affordable sports vehicle.
Yeah.
So good. So
I'd rather go
roomy.
to my
So roomy. Look at those horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
but even
that.
like the whole Max Payne being like co-published by Rockstar and stuff, I think they just can't connect it all legally, probably. So they just like put like Max Payne's guns in Alan Wake's office or whatever it was. And then I think they can hint, but they can't say it's all connected.
Well, and like I mean, we were talking about this on the stream that like those like those inhibitor vests, like that stop you. And like the little spires look very much like stuff in Control.
Right.
And then we didn't really talk about the shifters in the story, but there are people who basically like Paul is kind of sick and he's kind of losing control, and he eventually gets turned into a shifter, and it's very reminiscent of Control, like enemies in Control.
Right.
That's just very cool. Yeah, this game or Quantum Break and Control seem very similar. To me, or there's a lot of similarities, which is cool, which is fun.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Well,
go ahead.
I do have a quick question about the do you fight Martin at the end or
no?
Okay.
Martin
Hatch.
Yeah, Martin Hatch.
Oh no, I think depending on your choices, he can survive or be dead.
Oh, we never. Okay. Yeah, we should probably we can do a spoiler real quick. Nolan didn't finish it, so we can kind of try and wrap up the ending. I don't want to ruin.
Sure. I mean, there's like between each act, there's a junction basically, right? Where you can choose like an A or a B, and you can kind of get like a little preview, like it plays like a little, just like a little segment of your choices. And this is kind of why they say like in this game you play as Jack Joyce and you play as Paul Serene, because in those junctions, like you're kind of always on the other side of the conflict, like you're with Monarch. And there is four junctions, and you can, like I said, you can preview them. And then once you make a choice, you can actually see what people on your friends list did. and you can
Oh
see
yeah.
what the overall community did, which I thought was like really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know for sure, but I think that plays into how the game ends basically for everybody.
Yeah. So
I
you can make
don't. Go
Paul
ahead.
go crazy or not go crazy, I think,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that's kind of like the last cutscene. You can make him like embrace like turning into a shifter, or he can take a hit off of his his like
yeah.
last
Yeah.
bottle of medicine.
Yeah.
But
What
then
did one did you guys
there's
choose?
another one at the very end though too, Nolan.
Oh, okay.
If
Okay.
you look at the wiki of like the junction impacts, it's
Mhm.
a huge list of like
Oh, crazy.
major and minor impacts on the story, depending on what you do and what you find and stuff. So this is one thing I wish I would have had more time to kind of
Mhm.
dive into personally, but like the list is quite long as far as what can happen in the game. So I don't know how many endings there are. Like I was saying, this is kind of like, I feel like the Mass Effect thing where it was like, no matter what you do in the game is gonna matter, and eventually like
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
just annoyed that it doesn't matter, But it
Yeah.
seems like there's a lot of possible things that could happen or affect the TV show portion or the game portion.
Yeah.
So.
My ending was basically like you have a choice to either lead Monarch or don't lead Monarch.
Oh,
So you basically take
Right.
Paul's-
Paul's place.
yeah.
Right. That was basically mine too. Like you defeat Paul and Hatch offers you the position to lead Monarch and be like, oh, it's a very different Monarch. Like we're just trying to make sure this
Yeah.
doesn't happen again. Um,
Hmm.
what can we do? And then I think mine he was like, oh, I'm just gonna go do my own thing, basically.
Yeah, that's
But-
what I think I picked too.
Yeah.
You know what we never talked about either? We never talked about you being interviewed this whole entire time.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
totally.
yeah.
That's like a huge narrative piece.
Also
of this.
very weird that doesn't get, or it only gets at the end, and it is it's a Monarch employee that's interviewing.
It's so pointless, but it's such a cool way to
like
tell a story.
the narrator part. Yeah.
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 They're just like, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, basically.
Huh.
Thanks for being on my podcast. I'll see you.
Yeah.
I need to I gotta finish it. I wish I would have finished it in time.
You should.
I'm going to.
There's
I
plenty,
just-
you
there's
should.
plenty of time in all this, but
Just take whatever choice you think you're gonna make, do the opposite. And then
Okay. Well, now that I know what you guys did, I'm probably gonna do the opposite.
yeah.
So
yeah, I was ahead of you guys, so I only had Nathan and Kevin. in
Yeah, I
front
saw
of me.
that.
well, you wouldn't have seen
then-
mine either, because I was on Steam.
Oh, right.
Because I was seeing them on when I was playing on Game Pass, but when I switched to Steam, I'm not seeing anyone.
For sure.
So
Excuse me. What about these additional characters like Liam Burke, Charlie, Fiona? Like there was a lot of additional side characters that were involved, especially with the TV show portion. Liam, I'll go ahead and say he was a real real
He was kind of
boner. I don't know.
he was kind of like a patsy for the company almost, you know,
For
like
sure.
they just
yeah.
needed him because he was kind of angry, and he was like, nah, he doesn't ask questions, like just let him, he can, and he's not he's willing to get his hands dirty, and if he has
Yeah.
any problems, we'll just kill his family. And you're like,
Right,
damn.
Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff, like you mentioned, Nolan, was in the emails. Like it was like,
Yeah.
he needs money. Like he'll basically do what you tell him to do.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he goes along the opposite side, like you said, will threaten his family.
Yeah. He basically was like, I think Martin was like, or it was an email between Martin and someone else, and they were like, why don't we just let him know and give him a position on the lifeboat?
Yeah.
And Martin was like, well, we need him, but we don't actually need his wife or kid.
Right.
And so like he's not gonna go along with letting us not take his wife and kids, so he doesn't get to come, basically.
Yeah, they're like, we could basically plus or minus him on the lifeboat. Like,
yeah,
there's some spare seats available,
Yeah.
and he could come or go.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Charlie, what about Charlie? The IT nerd.
He was also
his
in
main story was the show.
Yeah, he was kind of the main story. Also kind of a patsy.
Yeah, he was kind of in the dark until the end there, and then they try and flip him back or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, his turn was like so fast, and I was like, they can't be redeeming this guy. They can't do it. And then he gets shot in the face. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, Fiona was like his kind of, she was like playing him to get, like more information and I don't know, like I thought when he saw the teacher, Myers or whatever, I thought he had flipped, like he realized what was going on.
Yeah.
And then he kind of weaseled his way out. So I don't know. I think overall, I'm just like very stoked on all the characters. So I'll let you guys continue.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that I'm not stoked on them. It's just like, I don't know. The story was told. I thought it was like mostly pretty good. Like I said, I guess I just don't have more to add. The TV show kind of took away from the gameplay, but overall, I like it. It was just a very interesting experiment, and I was glad to go along for the ride. Basically,
I'd
that's
say
it. If other games started doing this thing, I don't know how I'd feel about it, but
out of all the side characters, I think Beth had the best side/main story character arc, and that would have been a more interesting. Then it wouldn't work with the like choices stuff, because her path was already set, and all these like background characters, you could just pick or choose what they're doing, and it doesn't change main story. I thought her story in the main game was awesome.
I agree. I really liked that character, and I guess I didn't really understand how like involved and kind of tragic her character was until the end or the middle of the fourth chapter.
Yep.
Like she goes back in time, tells the child version of her that time travel exists, and she's gonna have to like stop being a kid and dedicate her life to this cause of stopping, and like that is what she does for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And then she gets sabotaged and sent to the past at the end, and she's like, I know I'm not gonna make it. Like I know.
Yeah.
Like she's preparing for her death, basically. And it's just, I don't know. It was like,
it's heavy.
It's pretty, it was pretty brutal.
Let's not forget 9/11.
Oh yeah, she tries to stop 9/11.
Several times she tried to stop 9/11.
Yeah. There was like other things too that she mentioned. Like she was like, time cannot be changed. I've tried changing all these things. That was in her.
There's like a sad
journal.
thing about like her best friend's gonna like turn on her and stuff, and don't worry about it. It's like, oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah, her journal was pretty brutal.
You need to give us a little update after you finish it about the end time.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do.
Okay, so what about the gameplay? We haven't even talked about like the time manipulation stuff that gets like the action going. There's so much going on, like powers that you have that when you're in in combat that really spices up like a traditional third person combat game, you know? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't
And this is what this,
we don't have bullet time. Like,
well, okay,
Max
so
Payne.
this is
We
what I'm gonna
do.
say. They
Do we?
they
Dude.
You have the
this is
time.
why I said prototype, because it feels like they're throwing everything at this to see if they can run it
Mhm,
successfully.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like all the effects, all the powers. Like how much can we run so we can make control, and control is going to be amazing.
Ugh. All the powers in this game are so fucking cool, basically.
They are really cool.
Yeah.
Like where I mean, I guess the only real not cool one is it's not interesting where you like throw the time sphere
The
at
shield?
somebody and
Oh,
you shoot at it and it builds up a bunch of bullets, you know?
Oh, I thought
I
that
use
was
that
so
one.
cool.
I use that
Well,
one a lot.
it
Yeah.
looks cool. I mean, it looks cool, but like as far as a gameplay mechanic, it's not like super interesting. Like it looks cool. But like sprinting around people and getting behind them
Mhm.
and you know, freezing people and shielding yourself and stuff. There's so many fucking cool like abilities you have in this game compared to I don't know. I thought it was like such a breath of fresh air in like a third person combat like type of
Yeah.
situation. And I
It
was like,
makes up for how unsuccessful the cover system is to me.
yeah, there's no cover system really.
When you run from one cover to another, you're just standing straight up.
Yeah, it's not it's not like a Gears of War, like a third person cover based
Shooter.
game for sure.
Yeah. They definitely want you moving around.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's so many fucking cool abilities.
Yeah, the ability, I wasn't expecting there to be this many abilities, and I thought they all worked pretty good. I didn't use the shield for a long time. I just was like, oh, I don't really need a shield. Like I can pop up and. But as like I started fighting like when they introduced like the time enemies, I was, taking way more damage, and I started using it more, and I was like, actually, this is pretty sweet. So I don't know. It was just like all of them had like a use case, which like I feel like there's a lot of games give you like a bunch of powers, but then like you only use the one that is like overpowered.
Yeah.
It's like, why use any of the other ones when I
Right,
can just use this one? But
Right.
with like they did like a really good job of balancing them all, and like certain enemies aren't like affected by certain powers, and I don't know, it was really good. And like I felt like when you're really rolling through them, you felt like strong, and it was
You felt like
so
a
sick.
badass.
Yeah. Like when those shotgun guys come in and you do that thing where you hit them with the time ball and then unload like a whole machine gun on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet.
But also, what about the slow motion cinematic when you cleared like a
so
group
good.
of
So good.
enemies where
Very
they're just like,
Yeah.
and also when you're fighting the guys that what is it called? Oh, the stutter. Like when they're in the stutter and
Yes.
you eliminate them and they're just frozen in time, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
falling backwards or whatever, and you're still zipping around like taking out other people that are in the stutter.
All
There's
all
so
by
many.
wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah. You're like punching and ripping apart like mechanical backpacks with your bare
yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
You're punching people in the helmet.
There's so many cool like visual effects and things that were happening in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, there were the amount of particle. I was pretty impressed with like the amount of particles and stuff that were like going on, and like they all seemed like to interact with each other. Like,
Yeah.
when there's like the part where you're in chapter 5 or act 5, you go to Monarch and that train blows through the wall.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of like reversing in time, and like it's
Right.
glitching back and forth. And there's enemies like that are coming to get you. and one of them just stepped in front of the train and it obliterated them. And I was like, that wasn't like a scripted thing. That just happened. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
There's like the set pieces in this game are so fucking cool. Like I'm almost mad that we talked so much about the story and not like the individual set pieces where like Paul Serene is like tearing down like a shipyard on you, you know, and you're like have to navigate through all those.
I did not like navigating through those scenes.
Oh, they were so cool.
I thought they were really boring.
I mean,
there's like 3 of them, right? Through the whole game. There's the shipyard.
There's a couple of them, but I just mean more overall as far as like the time manipulation involved with like the combat and stuff and like the visual effects. Like, even when you're at the end of the game and you're back at the college campus and the helicopter's landing, like you see, like the rotors of the helicopter are like painted across the sky. Like visually, the game looks just like so fucking cool. In my opinion, like
I agree. It's very cool.
It just looks awesome.
Yeah,
good game.
They ramped up the lighting like crazy.
Right.
Especially like the neon lights when you're like shooting people too, like the bullet trails that they highlight throughout. Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. There was another thing I was going to say about combat, shooting, guns. Oh, I can't remember what it was.
I just did there wasn't really much variety in guns that I found to be.
There wasn't. I thought we were gonna get some sort of like time, like how you're fighting the stutter dudes. Like I thought you would get like some other like time weapons. You know, basically like what did you guys use the most?
Honestly, the pistol and then once you get the machine gun, it's kind of dope.
The one from like the big dudes.
Yeah,
I like the carbine
dudes.
that was like 20 rounds.
Same.
Because I was just like headshotting people like a motherfucker. And the 3-round like all white
Vector.
Yeah, Vector like a machine gun,
Yeah. I didn't like that gun until the very end. Because I was like, why would I use this? I'm going to use the M4.
Right.
But I'm on that last fight, and you have to shoot Paul kind of far away.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was like, the M4 is like not accurate at all. And that little 3-round burst Vector is super tight. I was like, oh, I'm going to use this thing. And now I'm like kind of punching myself because I wish I would have used it more throughout the game.
Yeah.
But I typically use the carbine rifle and the heavy pistol and the M4.
Nice.
So
did you have like an ability you used more than the others, or were you like comboing like a ton of them?
I liked the I mean, I was using them all pretty frequently, but my favorite was I like to do the quick dash to the slow motion and just shooting them I just really thought that was fun.
Yeah.
And there was one time that I hit a guy with like the final guy with a the orb that stopped him in time.
Oh, right.
And shot him with like a single bullet that froze, and I just like positioned the camera and walked away, so it like killed him like I was walking away, and it was just kind of a cool like cinematic moment.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What about you? I used the running one a lot I guess like how many of the abilities do you have like fully spec'd out?
I had all of them spec'd out except for one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had most of them spec'd.
The like time bomb one that you have to charge up. That was the only one I didn't get fully.
Okay. I liked mostly like running quickly and then doing a melee and then slow motion like into like another group or another person. Like the combat felt so fucking sick. Except for
figure out how to do multiple takedowns, and I unlocked that. I couldn't figure it out.
You had to like press the sprint button again, and then it would do it. It wasn't very intuitive. Like you had to like do the takedown and then quickly sprint and then do it again.
Okay.
I definitely had a hard
weird.
time getting the button, the melee prompt to pop up for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah. I did that one a lot. Mostly just trying to move around as quick as possible and busting people. But like I was saying, the combat felt like super sick. Like you felt like a fucking badass. And which I was gonna say, like the narrative explanation for it is like at the very beginning it was like, Jack Joyce has had some like moderate like weapons training. Be careful. And then it was like, oh fuck, this guy's fucking insane. You better watch out. He's a weapons ninja. It was so funny.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's like, yeah, I'm a bit of a bad boy, and I'm like, you're Iceman, you're white bread, man. What are you talking about?
I mean, overall, there's like a huge layer of cheese, as pointed out by Eric's Snack Minute for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked a lot about like seeing how Remedy as a developer has grown through like Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, which is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I think it would be high up my personal list. But then we've got Alan Wake 2 coming out.
Yeah.
Towards the end of this year. And a future Control sequel planned, I think.
I think
so. I think it did really well. This is I kind of put that quote in there that they like Alan Wake didn't do great. It was like critical
the original one.
Yeah, critical praise, but like did not do well commercially.
I think it's got the old like cult classic tag, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but
I think it's good. Usually cult classic is like not commercially successful, but more like when you actually engage with it, you're like, this actually is pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
To me, that's what I think.
Yeah, I would agree. But people are hyped on Alan Wake 2 after what was shown. In June or July at the Summer Game Fest.
I think this is a funny quote. I don't know who said this, but it was like Spielberg made Jurassic Park, which was successful. Then they made Schindler's List, and that was successful. And they asked Steven Spielberg, "What do you want to do?" And he said he wanted to make 2. It's same with like Del Toro made Hellboy. Then he made Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth was like really great, and they're like, "What do you want to make?" And he's like, "I want to make Hellboy 2." So that's like my quote for like Control. Like, you made all these other games, Control's really well. It's like, what do you want to make now? And they're like, Alan Wake 2. It's like, I want to go back to what I love making, and it's the first thing I made.
It does seem very loosely tied into it, but
I think people are gonna be. I think it from the trailer, it still sounds very much like Alan Wake, and I'm curious. I'm really curious to see like what people, like how popular it's gonna be outside of like people who already know the Remedy games,
right? You know? I think it's interesting that they said it was inspired by True Detective, and you could play 2 characters, and switch any time. So it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5 in that point. And like any point in any mission, apparently you can swap between them.
I'm looking on their website right now, and it says that Control 2 is a game on their website.
Right.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think they have also announced a Control multiplayer game.
What?
There's a game on here called Condor, but it's like codename Condor. and it there's not a lot of info. Oh, it does have control on it, so that must be it.
I think Remedy got bought by Embracer, right?
I think so.
Oh, did
So
they?
I think that's where some of this weird shit is kind of popping up from. So yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. Alan Wake 2, I think looks awesome. I hope Control 2 is awesome. This game, it just made me want to play more Control. So
Yeah,
Nolan,
this game.
Nolan, you mentioned.
Oh.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was gonna say this game just like tried so many things that you look at Control, and Control does really well, and it took
Right.
Quantum Break to, I think, make Control so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we need to see Nolan play that Alan Wake expansion.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, we
Control.
do.
I do really want to play that. That would be fun.
So I think just the last weird thing to talk about is probably just how this game came out on PC and your experience with that, Nolan.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
How this game came out on PC and your experience
Oh.
with it in the Windows store.
Yeah.
The whole Windows Store.
So I've been kind of waiting for this game to come out on Game Pass because it's been on Game Pass for console for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, this game like never interested me. Like when I saw it, I was never really like, oh, I want to play this game. Like it just didn't look very good to me.
Right.
And I thought the TV show tie-in thing at the time was very confusing, and I was like, this is so weird. And then now, like, I mean, I didn't play Alan Wake until recently, and Control. Then I was like, okay, I gotta go back and play Quantum Break. So I've been kind of waiting for it to come out on Game Pass for PC, and it finally did last month. And turns out it runs like trash. For some reason, they stopped updating the Windows version, but they continued to update the Steam version. And I don't really understand why they would do that.
So as far as I can tell, it was an exclusive for Xbox and like a timed exclusive for the Windows Store. And they said you had to put it on. Microsoft said like it has to be DirectX 12 or something, which they had no experience using. So basically, they supported it for that 6 months. And then as soon as that happened, they were like, we're putting it on Steam and we're doing what we know how to do.
Yeah.
So they didn't support the Windows Store version anymore, which is the one you'll find on Game Pass. And the one on Steam is, I think, DirectX 11. Don't quote me on the DirectXs or whatever. But basically, the one on Steam is the one they knew how to update and support. The one on Windows shouldn't, in my opinion, even exist anymore. Like, how do they put that on Game Pass and let that survive on the Windows Store?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's criminal, in my opinion. Like, you played it. It barely even fucking runs. Like, I don't know how they... Like, how much is that game on the Windows Store? I'm going to look real quick.
I don't know. So yeah, the game actually ran fine for me. The thing, or like
was it the one that had the lighting effect stuff?
Yes,
there's
a lot of texture issues, which happens in Call of Duty all the time, to be perfectly honest. So
$40.
Yeah,
$40 if you buy it on the Windows Store.
Yeah. But yeah, like one of the first major cutscenes when you first open the portal, there was all this like neon light going on, and I just thought it was part of the game. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And it was flashing like a lot. And I was like, this seems almost like a health issue. And it just turns out that
You're on low health.
it's like the DirectX 12 was having a hard time loading textures apparently. Because
Yeah.
later on, when I got into some of the more like the dock scenes, like full walls would just be like neon pink and green and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like I'm gonna switch to the Steam one because, yeah, like you said, Steam can run on DirectX 11. Microsoft runs on DirectX 12 only, but they do that shit all the time. Like they like limit uh what you can do in your games, and Steam lets you customize graphical stuff all the time. So
Yeah. Stupid.
I don't know. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
I bought it on sale. It was like $10. So
Yep. Crazy.
it wasn't a big deal, but yeah.
So not recommended to play this game on PC Game Pass, basically.
It's not recommended. You definitely could if you didn't care about that stuff, but I
It
don't know,
almost when you were playing it, it almost just felt like part of the game, like you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Especially like when the game is like crazy, it almost feels like it's part of it. But yeah, later on, it was definitely like that's a a train car over there is just vibrant like a neon blue. That's not right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was weird, but I had no issues on Steam besides like some minor stutters and stuff like that. But
Okay.
that was not a Steam thing as much as it just seemed like that's how the game ran, you know?
Right. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Recommendations. Would you recommend it to your fellow gamers?
Only if you have the Microsoft Store.
No, you don't want to recommend it if you have the
I know
Microsoft.
that.
Play the modded version on Game Pass. It's wild, man.
Real trip.
Yeah, I totally recommend this game. Like it's hard to describe. There definitely Remedy is one of the like more unique, well-written games, you know? Like I feel like we have like a sea of sci-fi fantasy games that are all very similar, and Remedy somehow makes unique games. You know what I mean?
It's true. I do agree that they make some of the most unique, at least the third person, linear storytelling games, I think.
Yeah.
They're-
So I don't know. It's
way up
good.
there.
It's really good. Totally recommend.
Yeah. It's really it's awesome.
Yeah.
You say watch the series first?
I was gonna say it's oddly unaccessible, but try to watch the show.
I was gonna say, do you recommend watching it with the show or without?
I would watch it with, but I mean if you can't watch it, that's sucks. But you're still gonna enjoy the game.
I just kind of like wonder what the playthrough's like without watching it, because some of the stuff I feel like that happens in the later acts would make zero sense. I'm like, what is going on here?
I only watched 2 episodes and it was completely fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They do a like that wrap up thing
Mm-hmm.
that's like previously on, and they do a bunch of quick cuts, and you're like, why is Liam doing this and who's Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I think this game is weirdly locked behind like Microsoft. Well, now it's on Steam, but like when it came out, it was like weirdly locked behind Microsoft at the time, and now that it's available,
they paid for the exclusive. It's just like any other exclusive.
Yeah, no, but I don't
they
think
pay
many
for.
people. I don't think many people like played this game.
Well, not many people had an Xbox One. Like it was a very poor selling console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would recommend it now that it's like accessible.
Yeah.
Like definitely check it out, especially if you like Control and Alan Wake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. If you're into like the Naughty Dog,
If you
Nathan, like Uncharted style games, like I think it's way up there. It's definitely cheesy. This is like X-File level cheese, but it's fantastic. I mean, not fantastic. I had a great time playing it. It was a good popcorn flick style of video game. And the action is so cool. Once you get into the stuff when you have stutters going on and you're fighting like enemies that are stuck in time and some that like are able to manipulate time, it's so cool. I think it's so cool.
I agree.
Like visually.
I agree.
I think they know
the set pieces were chef's good.
they know where they're cheesy and they push it, which is really great.
For sure.
Yeah, they definitely don't shy away. They just like lean into it being funny.
Yeah.
I have one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
Because we didn't talk about it at all. Time Knife. Best content in the game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Because we don't need to get into it.
So
good.
So good.
I got a little. I found one last email in the final chapter about Time Knife. I got really excited, and the thing they filmed like a little teaser, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go, and it was bad. I wasn't. It was like a little
ending's really
animated,
bad, right?
A little animated GIF, and I was like, I was really hoping for like a full like commercial or something, but oh well.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. The ending does not live up to the hype.
Yeah,
it's
a pretty compact ending, actually.
Are you guys talking about Time Knife? Or are you talking about
Time Knife?
Okay. Yeah.
He basically made a screensaver.
Yes, he basically made a screensaver. So this game would get a perfect 10 in my book if there was a Time Knife, better Time Knife Part 3. But no, unfortunately.
Okay. Next
you should sorry, Nolan, you should write some Time Knife fan fiction.
Oh yes.
Oh my God. There's gotta be.
Is that Quantum Break Time Knife fan fiction?
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Nice. All right. Next month's game, August. We're gonna play Dave the Diver, which this one has been hitting the internet hard and fast. I don't know. Is that what people call it? It's on the X's. It's an adventure video game developed by Mint Rocket. Players control Dave, a hardworking diver, as he collects fish, solves quests, and manages a sushi restaurant. It has elements of management, action adventure, and role-playing games. It came out in June. It's on Mac and Windows. A Switch version will apparently be released later this year.
Ooh.
I think it's the first game that we played that is only on PC. So sorry for you guys out there who don't have that available, but I think it'll come out on some other stuff as the year goes on. Metacritic, it has an 89. I've personally heard some fantastic things about this game. Comparable to Cult of the Lamb, where you have two different genres, right? Like dungeon crawler and management sim. You combine them together, that type of thing. This one, it's in the zeitgeist, I'd say, but it has me interested. It sounds super chill, which that is my tagline these days, super chill or something. What do you guys think about Dave the Diver? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I don't know that much about it.
Yeah, I've only seen images, so
it sounds very fun. I'm excited from what I hear.
Do you like sushi?
I do.
Oh, do I ever?
Do you like diving? No, we'll see.
Nope, do not.
I've never been diving.
What you're grabbing out of this? Okay, cool. Dave the Diver. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a cool looking game. It's on the Steam Deck, or plays well on the Steam Deck, I guess. So
perfect.
I am very excited about that.
Love those. Except for I'm probably going to just play it on PC because they'll be streaming it. But
yeah,
true. Okay.
Yeah,
dudes. Anything else before we sign off?
Nope. Oh, you know what? One more thing. I looked up Time Knife fanfic, and I didn't find any. But there is an episode of the show The Good Place called Time Knife about a time knife,
no.
a multi-dimensional blade that exists within the IHOP.
Oh no.
Wow.
Those
So
writers made it.
that-
Those writers made it happen.
That remedy, Good Place crossover.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got.
If you guys could share the podcast, leave us any reviews on Apple Podcasts or your podcast provider of choice, unless it's Stitcher, which might be the defunct one. We'll find out.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. Send us any feedback at videogamerations.com. We want to know what you guys think of the podcast. If you have any questions for the show, any games you want us to play, we're always open for recommendations. Twitter at VG Rations. It's not Twitter anymore. Who the fuck knows what it's called? We need to update our document once Elon figures it out, I guess. And then Discord. You can go to videogamerations.com and find a link to that. What are we going to play this month, Nolan? You're playing Remnant 2. Do you think we'll get some more battle bits in there?
Oh, we can get some battle bit going.
Okay, great.
We got a new Tarkov wipe coming this month too.
Ooh, wait.
My God.
You got names ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All
you got a
right.
name? You got a name ready?
Oh yeah, you got a name? What are you gonna be?
I actually don't. I actually don't have one.
All right.
Yeah. I need to come up with my next one. So I'll circle back on it next podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, dudes. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you next month when we talk about Dave the Diver.
All right.